and then just move on. So if you have difficulty moving on, it means that you are still experiencing this hangover as a result of the breakup. The last sign, spiritual sign, for those of us who are spiritual, it can affect your prayer life, your faith and your trust in God. Especially for those ones, let me chip in this, for those ones who think that they received a prophecy concerning the people they were supposed to get connected to. Maybe they are prophetical. It's what you call baby a wana. Oh, I normally say this, like we said earlier in the previous episode, when I hardly will want to tell people to give in to prophetic when it comes to the people they are supposed to marry. Because once again, one way I call a prophet. So the one who I didn't hear. It's now a case ABC say you should have a personal conviction.
Yes.
We are not saying that the prophetic word might be wrong. No, we are not saying that. But you should have a personal conviction. Okay?
That's
because
true.
if you don't take care, it will affect the way you even look at prophetic now.
Yeah.
Because the last time this person said this, here's the case, I'm experiencing this heartbreak. And this prophet cry has not been called to check up whether I'm fine or not. So your trust in God declines. Your prayer life might even decline. Your faith in God might even decline. Spiritually, it could affect you in some of these things. You know, there are many of the gentlemen who are part of the prayer team, prayer department, of suffer breakup hangover on. I have cried 3 weeks no see prayer meeting. I said that. We can not that's also not belly do open prayer or just so pan. What friend was winning? Mumbo me Mumbo
Obabi na atena kuma.
And yatina koma no. So the man is over. And now here so man move for some man ba on pan bobo nyina no. A bit young man. So we are saying that it's one spiritual sign when people who were the church type begin to shirk responsibilities in relation to what they were doing in church. It could be a sign. Most especially if the lady or the guy that brought their house are in the same church with them. Now, or your worship, no abandon say, oh, lift up your hands. Now get a man and say, so you guys put your hands down. There oh, so must be me. And most who say, oh, I break your heart. Now you're part of congregation. As so, guys lift up your hands. You choose to put your hands in your pocket.
Exactly.
And I think that maturity should tell you that these things they can happen. When they happen, handle it with care and with maturity. Knowing that not all premarital relationships are bound to lead ultimately into marriage. And it says, yeah, can we still stay in church, be good friends, and then we don't have any qualms about each other? That is maturity. I will not see you and then I will say you are a witch. I will not see you and say that you are a snitch or you are a bad person. No, it just couldn't work. Don't insult each other. Don't be insulting. You know what people do? Ye ja omwa. O show mo status and no say some motivational speakers. There are some people
breakups be my motivational speaker.
Serious. That's one of the signs of it's a written sign. Hey, it's a jaunia power already status and some more chono. Motivation womb connected dots now. Hey, when you say a jao. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that don't take to social media and then indirectly demean people just because they decided to go away. I mean, as far as the relationship is concerned, just show maturity and then move on with your life.
As a real be so hard, you know, okay, I know what status. Sudden tears, no start. And yes, she. It is well.
It is well. It is well. It should be well. Oh, a sudden tears will get to it. There is something scientific about it. Any person going through breakup hangover is not as if you're a weak person. It's a biological signal that you have actually lost somebody significant to you. And you're supposed to go through what we call the grief moment. I'll talk about it as we move ahead. It doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you are stupid. But if you let it linger to the point that it stagnates you, that's what the problem is. Okay? So the tears can come. But how long can you cry for? Okay? You just 1 year and it's still, what does it say? Tears. At the tears ben kwa. And also when ye. Mami we 3 years ni. Usu 2 weeks unsu biem. Ya ja 1 year no da susu. I guess one also when
And then, you know, when God takes something away from you, it means that He has a better plan for you.
Exactly.
It's a relationship now, econo. Know that God has a better plan for you. With all this, why does breakup hurt so deeply? Even when we know that the relationship has to end.
So people are hurt deeply, not just because they've lost a person, but because of the fact that they also got used to us.
Yeah.
That is himself, herself, and the other person. Okay. Things they shared in common, things they hope to share in common, is an identity they have actually built together. And now that identity needs to be broken apart. It's part of the reasons why people will get hurt deeply. That's why they will sit down some of the times and then think about the possible future together. Like if we were still together, we could have.
Yeah.
That's why people actually put on their statuses, this could be us. This could be us. People always know people they are talking to when they place certain things on their statuses. Yeah, we are always in the dark when it comes to those things, but they know their people. And then the people who are responding.
You know.
And most especially if you've invested too much. You know, when I can't issue of intimacy in one no. If one could in a sexual sense, that's where you feel like you're a prostitute. Especially man.
It's difficult to forgive yourself.
Yes. You see that thing? So it hurts deeply, first and foremost, because it's not just about the person. It's about the investment you made. It's about the things you shared together. It's about you thinking about the future. It's about the attachment which you have created between. It's about routine, the daily changes you have to make. You know, people would have to actually stop using certain kind of mobile networks because of their person. Yes, routines be timesesa. But just because of that person, not that is a open. Eventually, you go back to factory settings.
That's true.
You see that thing? So that's one aspect. But scientifically, there is a reason why we feel so deeply hurt when these things happen. Now, there is this thing we call the attachment system. It's something that develops in us from infancy, and it's that which keeps kids bonded to their caregivers. Is that which grows and makes you connected to your partner in a romantic way. So when you grow up, that's the same attachment system. Now, anytime you lose that connection with people, this attachment system is activated. And when it's activated, it will trigger those kinds of signs we're talking about. The fact that you are depressed, the fact that you are panicking, the fact that we are sad. The system is called the panic grief system. The panic grief system, where you begin to experience all the signs we mentioned as a result of you losing a relationship. Then, issues of dopamine. Dopamine as a hormone will drop. When it drops, it's like somebody who is on coke and then experiencing a withdrawal symptom. So there is the urge for that relationship again, and that is when people begin to now go back to either calling or checking up on the people right after they break. You break it up just 2 hours ago. As a baby, you on the phone on friend. It's because the attachment system is triggering this thing of let me check back.
Okay. Know how he or she is doing.
Yes, the dopamine is the bonding hormone. It's dropped. Now there is a sense that you want to do something. Okay. Then there is what we call the protest behavior. This is when you become angry. This is when you become bitter about the person and all such things. And when all these things happen, what is happening is that your attachment system is screaming back for the relationship. And it's biological. It happens. You can't do much about it. If these things happen, you should understand that you are hurt physically. But then what is happening is that you are not imagining anything. It's your stress hormones that is calling back for attachment. Once again, like I said, it doesn't mean that you are a weak person per se. It doesn't mean that you are foolish. But it is an accurate sign that you are biologically connecting to once upon a time a relationship which has broken up.
So how can someone tell the difference between a healthy grief after a breakup and an unhealthy emotional hangover?
So healthy grief allow space for pain, but then still moves towards acceptance and hope.
Okay.
If you are grieving in a healthy way, we are not saying that you are overlooking the pain. You allow space for the pain, but you don't allow the pain to stifle your progress. You open up yourself for acceptance and then hope in the future.
Even scripture says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 13 that we shouldn't grieve like the others who do not have hope. So we should grieve with hope.
Exactly. So that is it with the healthy grief. It becomes unhealthy, like I said earlier, if it keeps you stuck. Okay. So if the pain stops your progress, definitely you get to know that it's unhealthy. In that there are people who would even want to take leave from work. It could be understandable because you might need therapy. That's fine. But then if it's going,
if they are students, they don't go for lectures.
Yeah. So students could decide that main call lecture. My heart is broken. Requirement to they are part of the grief process, which you cannot so much begrudge them. Okay. But what we're saying is, if it gets to the point where this pain is stopping your progress, the lectures in the nanka also get back community na also was skipping. But all the yetu muda na ugu so was skipping. A juma na nanka also be a 1 day be na unhi so be take a break na what ma reflect 3 weeks na unko juma. Ni nyina na say obi agya. As if say nipa no kwa na nipa owiase. Enka say agya wo enye ya
ya.
Mentena nka say enye ya da. Obi ai
ya pa.
Ya. Enjame da de ba nze ya.
Maybe the end you come on next episode.
So you lose motivation for work, you lose motivation for life, you lose motivation for faith. This is what we are talking about, unhealthy kind of grief. You know, there is a reason why God actually made this thing about forgetfulness with us, and I think it's very important. See a real fit, a real team baby. And yes, so that things happen after some time, you forgot it. People can lose, as in they can have their relatives passing on. You see the way they are crying, as if say only the kono brain. As if say only the crab game. But you could see anybody the kono and say yes in any more no. What him say forgetfulness yeah. You understand? Don't let the pain stuck your progress. We understand the fact that there will be pains, the fact that you could be experiencing some turmoil in your life, but in no way should it cause you to overlook other important aspects of your life. Otherwise, we term it as an unhealthy grief. Let me probably chip in this. There are 5 stages of grief. The first one is denial, where you down, but all party was me and you live in a state of shock and disbelief. No. This one now, you me. Oh yeah, there you me. You can't simply.
This can't be me.
Yes, you can't simply accept the fact that you down. Then the next one is anger. Now reality is setting into nti ubuofu wa nkasa ho ubuofu nipa no ubukra timi fu higher authorities ubu timi fu usofo je preacher no oka ade about relationship na ubuofu no. So you can actually get angry at anybody around
and you. Who say obi ni spouse be enjoy cry di odo cry.
I said you be then you see those things people say. So anger sets in, and then now the next thing becomes bargaining. Bargaining is where you try to get people of higher authority to actually speak to the party for you. Speak to that person. They see the now you begin to bargain. And then after bargaining, if I'm far, you get to depression. Now reality is setting in on you. There is a period of deep sadness, and then you feel say you have actually lost that thing. Afterwards, there is acceptance. The acceptance is not as if you have necessarily come to a place where you are happy that the thing has happened. But then you know that there is nothing you can do about it now. So it's a stage that you are acknowledging the reality that the thing has happened. and I can't really do anything about it. So these stages are not linear. It's not as if this one should come, then this one follows. One particular one, you might stay there for a long time, and you might have them multiple times happening. So you could be denying, you could be angry, you could be bargaining, you could fall into a state of depression, and then you could come to accept it. They are actually not in a linear order where this thing must come before this one. Everybody has a way they go about in their grief moment. But these are the 5 stages of grief. And I think that people should be allowed to grieve. I'm somebody that wouldn't so much to interject when people are going through grief moments. Oh, and yes, she nyame beye, you say nyame beye, but the janu no unsu. And then quite therapeutic. Maninsu. Ye jano. And you're not quite maninko. Onunko neighbor, Mr. Menko, yes, our maninsu. No one can do a bekenina. Or ye knows will swam and I mean. Now if you do okano waka wako yeso oh jaja nsu bema nsu bema yesu bema nsu sa na nua ko gina kinki won so okoto na anything not talking makoma ko 10 onko a so ti ase ka ma ni su nya nka na ni su betete no talking makoma ko 10 all because of broken heart. You understand? So people should be allowed to go through the grief moment, and like I said, the grief moment is unique to each individual. It's not as if how this person is going to go through the grief moment will be the same. Others are able to straight up accept the fact that you're jamming. They will not go to the denial and all such things. They will not be angry at anyone. And so it's unique to different people.
So Sarili, with this, how long is it normal for a breakup hangover to last, and when should one seek help?
So normally I say something funny. It's funny, but I think there is a bit of truth in it. Jesus died, went through pains. He could have chosen to actually do some miracles and then outwit the death. Stayed in the pain. 3 days after, he resurrected. Please, if you have had a broken heart, Jesus went through some pains. His own shell broken heart. On the 3rd day, he resurrected. Please, on the 3rd day, rise.
3 days.
3 days. That's on a lighter note, but there is no fixed timeline for some of these things. The emotional intensity gradually must reduce after some time.
Okay.
Yes, if you're able to go through the things you'll be sharing, as far as coming out of breakup hangover is concerned, you should be able to be fine gradually after some time. The moment you realize that your sadness is turning into despair, hopelessness, depression, suicidal thoughts, that is where you need to talk to somebody. You need somebody who is of some spiritual credibility. You need to talk to somebody who is a therapist. You obviously need somebody to talk to about this thing. You cannot put it, keep it to yourself. And normally, I do normally you see you obi na show bi so being control bi o broken at touch on tentema on a chewa unsemi bebre
kasa
who shi obi na wuchiri yen kan yo kana wuchiri as also person chire unsemu because unti ase but intentionally people should get well-meaning people who are in the shape to be able to talk to them as to how they can handle what is happening with them. Otherwise, it could lead to some other behaviors or some other lifestyle which could be detrimental to you, the person. Meanwhile, the person who detailed you is actually moving about, okay, fine. Probably I've gotten a new person. Now I'm hona, so I think that the moment you realize that your sadness has turned into something else, you should seek help.
So what are the common mistakes people make that prolong a breakup hangover?
You know, I sometimes wonder, why do you want to constantly check on this ex of yours? The word is constantly. Yajai. No one talker. But then what is this constant checking up? The other side of this thing is, at the time you were in that relationship, you're not even checking up like that. We were talking about common things that brings about breakup. You're not even showing that care and attention and checking up. Now that you've broken up, you constantly want to check up. It's one of the common mistakes you do to prolong this hangover. Number 2, constantly checking on your social media platforms to know what is happening with them. You break your heart more. So then you want to, For me, I think that you should get to the point where I'll talk about it later on, but let me just go ahead of myself small. You have to get to the point where there are some people you need to intentionally choose to block.
Block. If you are watching us now, block that ex.
Not as if you hate them, no, but for your own safety. Because the moment you see the next picture, you are actually prolonging this hangover thing. Okay. Then again, if you rush into another relationship, it's possible that you can prolong your hangover.
Yeah.
Because the tendency that you would be doing comparison, most especially if there are things you expect from this new one, which you are not seeing it, but you're seeing it in a better form and a better shape in the ex. You start to compare, and makes you now still want to emotionally connect with that particular ex. It can also prolong that hangover. So even though you are in a new relationship, you are still having the hangover. Because there is something you are anticipating from this new one that you're not seeing. You were seeing it in a better form in the ex.
So don't replace a relationship with another relationship.
Okay, you could end up in what we call a rebound relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also when you are numbing the pain instead of facing it honestly, you are numbing the pain. You need to face, like we said, you need to go through the grief moment. Yeah. But it's as if you want to prove that you are a strong woman. Hey, me a strong me strong. Sa, Jitu said you can, and then honestly accept it, and then go through the grief moment and come to a place where you know that you are actually now okay. Yeah. If you do these things, your hangover shouldn't be taking long. You should be okay in some few moments. Otherwise, you just be prolonging this thing unnecessarily. So one other thing that could prolong your breakup hangover is when you begin to romanticize the past. As in, you still want to be reminiscing on times you went out to a party, times you went out to an event, how nice it was with this person, how you shared popcorn together watching that Netflix movie, all such things. You are romanticizing the past. The past is past. Let it pass. Yeah. It will do you good. Okay? You need to, I call something the replacement principle. Anytime such thoughts come, try find another thing to substitute with that one. Otherwise, you nurturing and hanging on to that kind of thought to romanticize the past will just put pains in your heart. So that's one thing that we can look at. One other thing I'll have to mention is when you begin to isolate yourself from supportive people. Okay. You can prolong your hangover. There are people who are well-meaning people that want to be supporting you, giving you words of encouragement, telling you the need to move on with your life and all that, but you want to isolate yourself from them. You know, one of the things people will do, like we mentioned earlier, one of the physical signs of a breakup is when people begin to isolate themselves, social withdrawal. But you could be in a church where the church becomes a support system for you. But here's the case: you are isolating yourself from supportive people. You have mentors, you have counselors, you have people who you could talk to. But this is the time you have chosen to isolate yourself. You will prolong your breakup hangover. So these things need to be checked.
So what role do memories, social media, constant contact play in delaying healing?
They will keep your emotional wounds open. They will delay the healing process. Because anytime you are hooked up to social media, like I said, there is this, I mentioned the word protest behavior, where you now begin to check up what is happening with the person.
Yeah.
So there is a tendency that you would be putting more salt in your wound because of what you saw. Probably this person is access to save the date already that you don't know. You are yet to see on social media. You saw that one, you skipped your meal for that particular evening. So what you are trying to do now is that you are opening up your wounds for it to be deteriorated. That thing needs to be checked very well. Healing often requires boundaries. That's one thing. And then boundaries will mean that you must allow for emotional and spiritual restoration. And one of the things you do to allow for emotional restoration is make sure that you don't get glued to that social media, and more so that person's page or feed where you constantly have post reminders from them. Otherwise, you are setting up yourself for a time where the healing is going to really delay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's getting interesting. I believe you are being blessed. We'll continue in our next episode. See you. Bye-bye.
They will pray about their scholarship. They will pray about their getting A's in school. They will pray about their jobs. They will pray about getting visas. But they will never pray about this long lifetime thing called marriage. They will not pray about the person to know God's mind about the person. I saw somebody attractive. It's the shape I want. That's what I want, and that's all. It can't work like that. And you really need to engage God when it comes to some of these things. Listen, broken out near can and you're simple, how?
Really?
And you're simple. And you're simple. Who tell them go for candy? I said, I'm kind of evident. But tell them go for candy.
And you're simple. And
it's so be a coming over $20 million. Obi $20 million. Yeah. Into the song, go for him, Bible.